Welcome you to the Licouras Center, downtown Philadelphia, as we get set for the post-fight press conference here at Bellator 33. But first, to kick things off here at the post-fight press conference for Bellator 33, we turn things over to the chairman and CEO of Bellator Fighting Championships, Bjorn Rebney. Bjorn?
Thanks, Michael. Usually at 11:15 at night when we do a show every single week, on the night of a show I'm exhausted, and I'm just still living off the energy of that crowd and the energy of this city and the response that our lightweight champion got when he came out, and just everything that surrounded it, all the videos that surrounded it, all the backplay, all the promotion, all the marketing. What a great night, and what a great city for fights. And it's just, this is what he convinced me it would be. And first it was a lot of talk, and then it ended up being just that, and it was just spectacular. So my first thank you is to the city of Philadelphia for supporting this event like they did and putting on that kind of show. That was just awesome. There is a gentleman sitting to my right, a champion sitting to my right, who was with us right from the start, suffered a pretty substantial injury, asked me and asked our organization to not speak specifically to the severity of the injury, came back from it, lived in the cage, devoted himself to fighting, devoted himself to defending his title, and is a really spectacularly talented fighter whose game is consistently evolving. And I just spoke to him backstage, and my hope against hope is that he will continue working with us, that he will be in a position to come back into our tournament come February and look to challenge and try to get a rematch on having just lost his title. But the gentleman that he lost that title to tonight, Ben Askren, when we first started recruiting him and when I first went out and tried to sign him, he looked at me the very first time we met and said, I'm going to win your world title. And said it with an amazing amount of confidence, not with great bravado, but just with a calm, calculated confidence in terms of what his skill set was. And man, he has delivered. That was a very dominant performance against a world-class welterweight. So a huge congratulations to Ben Askren on winning the world title tonight. And also a big congratulations and a thank you to the guy sitting to my right, who has been a great champion for us, for this organization, is a spectacular spokesman for this game, and is exactly the kind of guy that we want out there talking about mixed martial arts and getting people excited and interested in it. So thank you, Lyman. Good, and we're looking forward to seeing you back.
Thank you guys for having me. My hands are killing me. So if I denied anyone a handshake tonight, it's because my hands are all banged up. But definitely success tonight. Everything that I could have dreamed of went exactly according to plan. I have three great coaches. Each of them gave me certain advice. Every single thing worked tonight. Every single thing. It was sort of like they plugged the remote control in the back of me, told me what to do, and played with a paddle, just like a video game. So everything went perfect, and I couldn't be more happy. My wife is sitting in the front row right now, and this fight was unreal. It's the first time I ever fought in Philadelphia, and between ticket sales and training and everything, I just had no time for my family. Zero. So I just can't wait to go somewhere in the Poconos, get a log cabin, me, my kids, and my wife, and just hang out and just get away from everything. But that, and thank you for putting up with my shit. And my team, Steve, Ricky, Mo, and my teammates. You guys are the world to me, and we're going to continue this journey and get to #1 spot and beat the best guys in the world.
You know, like Bjorn said, it was a tough fight tonight. I kind of wish my hands were sore like Eddie's and not my face was swollen up like this. But, you know, I'm still new in this sport. You know, I was talking to one of my coaches, Alan, and I've only been punching stuff for about a year. I mean, literally, I didn't start boxing or hitting anything till September of 2009. And so, you know, I heard Tiger Schulman's corner taunt me with he punches like a girl. Maybe I do now, but I ain't always gonna punch like a girl. So, you know, there's a lot of places I can get better. I can punch harder. I can finish better on top. But I'm pretty happy with my performance. And, you know, I knew one time in my career I had to go the full 5 rounds and show people what kind of heart I had. So, you know, I'm just glad people got to see that I got heart, and I did not tell them I won't stop.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for Bellator for letting me fight in your card and be a part of your organization. You have a very deep welterweight division, and I'm looking forward to competing against you know, as many of the guys I can. You know, but I got to take it one fight at a time. Obviously, the tournament is next in February for me, so I'm gonna train hard for that, and see what happens after that and during that. But I just want to say thank you to all my coaches back in Boston, CEO Tong, Enzo Gracie, New Hampshire, and Pedro's Judo Center. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
I've been in this, you know, from the very beginning, and I think this was definitely one of the biggest things for me as an opportunity to use it to not only try to become a champion. For me, my initial, you know, MO wasn't to try to just go out and become a champion, you know, because it takes a lot of things to actually become what is considered to be a true champion. And I use this as an opportunity to allow for me to test and see what I'm really about. You know, I wasn't going out there thinking about the gold and the glory, but more about what it takes to become a champion internally, you know, spiritually, mentally, everything. And, you know, it also takes going out there and fighting a tough freaking fight. And as you can tell, me and Askren look like we just came out of a freaking Rocky movie. But sometimes you take to a loss, and you just got to pick up where you lost the fight, go back to the drawing board, get better, and then you just go back out there. You know, that's what it takes to become true champion. You're never going to really know what you're really about and how tough you really are unless you go out there and you fight those tough battles. And everyone's been there. You know, Fedor has even lost his fight. There's no such thing as somebody who will never lose a fight. You know, and you got to just use those things as an opportunity for you to just get better. You know, and I'm going to use this as a chance to do exactly that. You guys will definitely see me back in here. Definitely want a rematch. And I'm definitely going to be out, you know, and just try my hardest and be, you know, the best that I can be. Go out there and just train my hardest and be ready for next season.
That was good. I can't even follow that. I can't even follow that right there. I can give me the microphone after that. But I don't have too much to say. Rick Hahn is a great competitor, man. He's got skills. It was a great fight we had, and I think I was doing very well in the beginning of the fight. I got a little sloppy, or I tried to take advantage of a situation that I thought was there, but he got that toss. That was very nice. And just like Lyman said, you know, we all lose eventually. It takes a true champion to come back from a loss, get even stronger, and get back in there.
How does it feel to have won an MMA fight by Ippon?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of taking over from my judo career. In the judo match, that would obviously be a knockout win. It would be an automatic win. So I just took advantage of the opportunity he gave me. And you know, 20 years of doing that was just instinctual. It just happened right away, and it worked out great for me.
I think I got fairly close a couple times on the arm triangle. Just couldn't quite finish. You know, he's strong and he worked his way out of it. And yeah, then as the fight went on, he knew that's what I was hunting for. So, you know, but being in such a dominant position, and I knew the only way he could get off mount, well, besides the ref standing him up, is if I try a submission or, you know, like arm bar and go to my back, which, you know, in jiu-jitsu match is great, but in a fight, you know, it may not be the most exciting strategy, but it's a solid strategy, and I was landing blows and, you know, staying busy.
I guess the Pat Karen situation is difficult, but I'm going to do whatever, you know, me and Bjorn come up with. Gilbert Melendez has a lot of mouth lately and keeps, in every single interview, he keeps saying he wants to fight me. So it's something me and Bjorn are welcoming and want to do. I'm very interested in that fight. I think it'll make me by far #1 in the world if I dominate Gilbert. So that's a fight I'm looking forward to. And in the meantime, if Pat's not injured anymore and able to fight, then I'll do that. This is the man you asked that question to. I'm just gonna fight whoever he puts in front of me. It's nuts. We responded immediately. Like people don't understand this. He went on HDNet. He said, "I want to offer you out, Eddie Alvarez." We responded immediately within like 10 minutes. Me and Bjorn already talked about fighting Gilbert by ourselves in the lobby before Gilbert even said that. And then Gilbert said it, and we're like, perfect. and then responded immediately. We still haven't got a response. There's nothing going on. Scott Coker don't want it to happen. He's trying to obviously protect his champion, and I guess he has every right to. He has a business to run, so whatever. I want to be number one in the world. The only way to do that is to fight people like Gilbert, and if we can get our hands on him and the contracts work out, then that's what we'll do. But until then, it's just talk.
Eddie touched on it. The moment that Gilbert Melendez called out Eddie Alvarez, Eddie called me in, I think, 7 minutes and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think that's an awesome fight. Let's take it." And he went, "Great, let's take it." And within 20 minutes, there was a press release out, and it started to snowball from there. And I've said it many times, I've got great respect for Scott Coker. I think Strikeforce does an amazing job. They put on great shows. They've got a great TV deal with Showtime. And Scott came back and said, well, there's problems. There's always promotional issues. You know, what television network is it going to be on? Well, we'll do it on Showtime. Where will the fight happen? Well, let's do it in San Jose. The answers to the questions are very simple. And Gilbert asked for the fight. Gilbert started the dialogue. And Eddie responded, and then I responded. And then when faced with questions or issues about whether or not the fight could happen because of promotional issues, I disavowed anyone from any questions about promotional issues. There aren't promotional issues. There aren't any barriers to entry. There aren't any hurdles. That fight could happen. And in order to establish Eddie Alvarez as the best lightweight in the world and universally accepted in people's eyes, Gilbert Melendez is a spectacular fight for us, and he asked for it. So, and again, great respect for Strikeforce, but there are not barriers to entry. As long as Gilbert's hand is healed and he is now officially married, that fight can occur. So it is, you know, and everyone likes to default into the promotional issues, that wild bag of promotional issues that exist, and they don't. So there's no reason that fight shouldn't happen but for the fact that the promoter of Gilbert Melendez doesn't want it to occur.
I called my coaches at 2 o'clock today, and we went over my gym at Fight Factory, and we just went over and over a couple videos of Roger, and it was something we picked out last minute, to be honest with you. My coach, Ricky Lee, Muay Thai trainer, said, uppercut is there every single time. It's something I used to do earlier in my career. I threw uppercuts like crazy earlier in my career, and something that I had to bring back, bring to a rebirth, and it worked tonight. Worked like a charm.
I think bring Russ in the time that I had off, as far as my hiatus due to my injury, probably did have an effect, more so than I thought it would. You know, all in all, I think you just have to consecutively just stay active to really stay in the game, you know, regardless of what anyone says. And I try to just use the time wisely to just try to get good, but obviously it's clear after this fight what I need, you know, some work on. It's back to the drawing board. And, you know, I look at the comparison to how I performed versus how other people performed, you know, with somebody who's very good at, you know, his wrestling and for how long he's been doing it. Considerably, I haven't been doing it for that long at all. You know, I haven't wrestled, or I'm not really from a wrestling background. So it's rather clear what I got. You know, I got some work to do as far as that.
I'm never anxious to get back in the cage. I'm more anxious to have some like cakes and pies and relax and chill out. But so as far as anxious to get back in, I'm dreading the call from Bjorn to tell me to fight again. But
what's next for Roger Huerta?
That's a good question. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Haven't talked to him since the loss. He's obviously taken it hard. I mean, that was he suffered a very, very dominant loss, and you know he suffered a close loss to Pat. He suffered some losses coming out of the UFC, and you know there was an awful lot riding on this fight for him, and he put on a pretty gallant performance against the best lightweight in the world. So, you know, it showed an awful lot of heart, took an awful lot of punishment over a short period of time. So, I don't know. That's going to have to be something he's going to have to kind of heal up, try to clear his head, and sit down and talk to us and figure out what his plan is and what his thought process is. I'm sure it's substantially more about where his head is than it is about where our plans are, because our plans revolve around this gentleman right here.